I gotta tell you, one of my greatest inspirations in the world, my cousin, he has this new girl he's dating, and he brought her to like the family Christmas, right? And she is the most Californian girl I've ever met in my life. She's, first of all, an incredibly nice human being. I'm a big fan of her. But the things she says, the most Valley Girl things I've ever heard in my life. We were at family dinner. Now, first of all, I should tell you about family dinner. Of all the cousins that hang out on my dad's side of the family, which is the family I hang out with, there's like 3 female cousins and 2 male cousins. All 3 of my female cousins are currently or were vegan or vegetarian. So when we go to family dinner, there's not a lot of protein and meat on the plates that we get there. It's a lot of quinoa salads and, lentils and green beans and, you know what I'm saying? So afterwards, I go get family dinner, and then on the way back home, I stop by In-N-Out and get some food, The very first time I met my cousin's girlfriend, she came in. Her name was Taylor, already Valley Girled up. And she's like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet everybody. Hey, how's it going? And I was like, fantastic. Obviously, this is a fascinating human. I need to talk to her. I was like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. We were talking, and we were having food, and there was something. I don't remember what it was. And we were like, hey, did you guys all try this already? Hey, Taylor, did you want to try this? Like, it was like a Jell-O or like a pudding or something. She's like, oh, no, I'm not going to eat any of the Jell-O. And we were like, oh, are you allergic, or is there some reason? She's like, no, like, Jell-O's like a food that jiggles, and like, I don't eat anything that jiggles, because if I eat anything that jiggles, I feel like I am what I eat, and so like, I'll jiggle, and I don't want to jiggle. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. I heard this line, you are what you eat, and that food jiggles, and I don't want to jiggle, so I can't eat it. It's genius. It's the transitive property. She's literally doing math in our family function, and I've never thought about it that way. I shouldn't eat jiggly foods because jiggly foods make you jiggle, right? Like, I've never thought about it, but it's mostly probably true. So then afterwards, I have a great appreciation for her. I love talking with her. Just the way she talks, you can tell that she's from a different planet than I am, right? And that planet is somewhere in the valley. Oh, you know what else I do at my family functions that I've realized? 90% of the people at my family functions are girls. I have all girl cousins. All my aunts are there and stuff, right? So when I go, I'm doing a lot of hugging. You see them, oh, cousin, it's so good to see you. Hug them and stuff like that. And what I've realized is they bring their husbands, fiancés, or boyfriends to this. And when the husbands, fiancés, and boyfriends show up, they're all like, oh, hey, Steven, how's it going? Yep. And they try to handshake me, right? They try to hit me with a handshake. Absolutely not. Never. Every time they reach out that hand, oh, cousin, bring it on in, buddy, oh boy. And I give them a hug. And every time I can tell them it makes them a little uncomfortable. And I laugh about it every time. It makes me laugh to my core. You know what I mean? And I say the same thing every time. Bring it on in for the real thing. And that's stolen from a fighting game player named Joe that I met from NorCal. And I give him the big hug. I'm so nice to see you. And I can tell they're like this. The handshake is out. They've got it extended, and I just parry past the handshake, bring it in. And they're like, oh, yeah, goodness. All right, yes, it is nice to see you too, Steven. You know what I mean? It's you got to get in there and give them a nice big hug so that they feel so uncomfortable. And I can tell every time. I can't not do it. Maybe I am a grappler player at heart. I don't know what it is, but I can't help myself. It's so funny. I mean, it's not like it's malicious either. The first time I did it, I just did it out of habit. I hugged someone, and then right next to them, I'm not going to shake a hand. I'm like, no, bring it in. And I could feel the energy. And after that, I realized, like, oh, yeah, I should hug every time. We're all family here, right? We're all eating quinoa fucking salads and lentils and shit. Might as well give each other a hug. It's the least we can do. It's green beans. You guys want some green beans? Oh, another salad. There was 4 salads. Let me get all 4 salads. And I got in there. It was delicious. The food is great. It's just all vegetarian, vegan friendly, because that's what my family is. I am so experienced as a social creature, right? I've been everywhere, all over the world, met people who speak all kinds of languages, interacted with people from very serious business meetings to very lax kind of negotiations to just hanging out with people to like all that kind of stuff, right? So when it comes to environments like this, I just have to find some kind of entertainment in it, You got to just hug your family. There's nothing weird about that. Y'all motherfuckers get weird about it. The old 1+2 throw, yeah. When you land a command throw on somebody and it feels satisfying? Same feeling. Turn it up a notch and smooch them on the cheek. None of them are ready for that. It's a really grappler zoner heavy matchup. My uncle is the one that resists the most, and he does the really far, hey buddy, try to, and I'm, nope. I duck and weave. I'm like, nope, let me just parry in there. SPD every time. You can't zone me out like that, which is one button. I was a wrestler, man. You think I don't know how to lower my level and get in there? No. Wavu wavu. The handshake's a high. You just wave dash under, go for the mix up after. Easy peasy. Do any of them know about fighting games? Yeah, most of them know what I do. I told you guys the last Christmas that I went to in 2018, and my aunt told me she was very proud of me for making it on TV without sucking anybody's dicks, because that's hard these days. Her words. And I was like, you know what? I gotta give it to you. My family they're quite the people. In my family, I am the least blunt of all of them. Think about that. I'm the least blunt of everybody in my family. I'm the least straightforward. That should give you a point of reference about what we're dealing with here. And I also am the only one who doesn't drink. So you can imagine what kind of family. My family is as straight up as it gets. They'll just be like, hey, I see you had a fucking disaster over there. What the hell happened? No? You just fucking up? It's just like, oh shit. Is my family full of Tasty Steves? No, but I'm sure that Tasty Steve would get along swimmingly with my family. Tasty Steve went to a wedding recently that I heard about. He knew none of the families there, either wedding, right? He didn't know Chris Seglia's family. He didn't know Seglia's wife Annika's family at all. He didn't know either of them. By the end of the night, I was told that both families were trying to claim Tasty Steve and was wondering why they hadn't met him before. That's the kind of human being he is. He's too powerful. If you've ever talked to Tasty Steve and he tells you he doesn't like someone, I've known Steve for 6 years now or 7 years now. And if I ever hear him say he doesn't like somebody, I assume that person is a demon. A dubious, dastardly demon that I should never trust and associate with. Automatically. It's just obvious to me. I've only ever heard Steve say that about like maybe 2 people, and one of them was like, I don't like him that much, but he aight. Like that was the other one, right? And then the other one was like, nah, I don't fuck with that guy. Those are the 2 things that I've ever heard him say bad about anybody. He's like that with games. He's like that with movies. He's like that with everything.